Welcome to After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable's After Dark show. I'm Katrina Ness, joined by Emma Ladd, Stephen Hackbarth, and Ted Ings. And tonight we have our very own Sarah Vantine joining us. You guys have a big trip planned for this week, a pop-up event at Schaumburg Kia with the Rohrman Automotive Group in Chicago, Illinois. So that is what we'll be discussing tonight, and you know, kind of what we do with these pop-up events. So team, thanks for joining us tonight.
So great to be here. It's exciting. And I'm looking forward to unpacking a little bit more about what we have in store, Ted.
Yes, and the chat is starting to fill in. And good evening to Tony Owens and Mike Weldon. I see Sean Kingery now newly in Nashville, newly minted. Welcome, everybody. So, Stephen, we are headed to Schaumburg, Illinois, home of the Rohrman Automotive Group. And Stephen, it's got to be exciting for you. Another pop-up event and a lot of lively guests, from I understand, that are going to be there as well.
Yeah, 100%. I'm super excited for the opportunity, and I'm really grateful to be able to be a part of this. It's going to be a big day down there. It's a grand opening, and I'm very excited to not only be able to meet with so many professionals and network, but also learn from people on the front lines making big changes in the industry. Because we learn a lot about strategy and we have lots of great conversations, but we're going to be seeing pioneers taking steps with a brand new dealership. So it's going to be great to hear from people on those front lines. So I'm very excited.
Yep, I am too. And Emma, our good friend Linda Hansen, you know Linda.
Yes, hi, Linda.
She says Bob Rohrman was quite a character. Rohrman. I remember, Linda, the billboards when I would go to Chicago, driving on the highway, and all the Rohrman billboards with his picture on there. And Katrina, that goes way back, okay? But that's really how they got started. And Rohrman has been a big name in the automotive industry for a long time. And Sarah, excited that they invited us in to do this pop-up with them.
Yes, this is so exciting. This will actually be our second pop-up with Rohrman Automotive Group. We were there this past August for Schaumburg Honda's grand opening. And Ted, this one's a little bit different than the previous grand opening for Schaumburg Honda, because with that pop-up event, they had already had their big grand opening ceremony. But what's going to be so special about this event is that with Schaumburg Kia, we will actually be there live during their grand opening event, which will be happening that evening. So we have the pop-up event that'll take place during the day and a packed schedule of panels and lots of incredible interviews that we'll be having with the Rohrman team. And then that evening, we get to celebrate with Rohrman Automotive Group and the big grand opening of Schaumburg Kia. So this is going to be unprecedented, Ted. I think we've never had an actual store grand opening at the roundtable yet.
This is going to be the first one, Sarah. And wow. Sarah, you've been working hard on that agenda. I know you've had a lot of people looking for that. Okay.
we do.
When's my panel? What time am I on? Can you move it around? Can I do this? Can I do that? Oh boy.
Well, and I think that's the best part about these pop-up events is the agenda and how much thought and effort we put into it. And by we, I mean, it's not just the Fixed Ops Roundtable that's working on this agenda. This is also the byproduct of all the incredible people at Schaumburg Kia and Rohrman Automotive Group. This is really a big show that's about them, their culture, and their people. And so there's a lot of passion about what panels get put together to be part of this big event. And Ted, we've got the parts department, we've got F&I, a new state-of-the-art facility when it comes to how they do the F&I delivery process and the service experience. There's so many incredible components that we're going to have an opportunity to see firsthand with this brand new dealership. And there's so much excitement already in the air with the Rohrman team. And then, of course, all of our incredible partners that are looking forward to being part of this big day, too.
A lot of people flying in for this. Ed Roberts is coming in for the mobile service panel, flying in all the way. along with his chief technology officer, Benson Stewart, will be there as well. We're going to get a chance to meet them. Brian Kramer is on the way in. I talked to Brian today. He's excited. Stephen, okay, about getting interviewed by you guys. So Brian is always in for always a big treat. Got some great stuff ahead. And Emma, there's no shortage of panels and people and stuff we're going to be talking about, just like at the pit stop event that you guys did at Ozark.
Yes, I'm so looking forward to Wednesday. I think every single dealership we go in is just the best of the best and just has the best and most amazing culture and people. So I'm so excited to listen to all of the podcasts and panels and just hear everybody's perspective because it's different from dealership to dealership.
And Emma, I'm excited because while, like Linda's saying, this is an amazing facility, I don't know, and Sarah does not know. I mean, until we get there, we've seen the floor plan, we know where we're going to be in the dealership, but until we see it, Katrina, this is last summer. You're over on the right there, and we're at the Snell Motor Company in Dallas. Katrina, was that an amazing staging, at that service department for this event, or what?
Yeah, we did this pop-up event in the shop, which is pretty unique. We usually do them in the showroom floor, but as we are fixed ops oriented, we were like, why not do it in the shop? And this was the most amazing setup, thanks to Rebecca. She did a phenomenal job and had an amazing setup, being so hospitable. And not to mention their shop was so incredibly clean and well laid out too.
Yeah, just really made for an amazing day. And of course, we do a lot of fantastic venues around the country. This one out in Tullyland in Sacramento, California. We'll be out there again on June 10th. We're coming back to this Porsche Gen 5 facility on June 10th for another pop-up. And Tully is going to, again, plan for a big show. And it's kind of fun to see when we have an audience there and people watching in person. And, we never know what to expect, Stephen, when we do these until we get there. So
absolutely. And speaking of, expectations and all of these amazing pop-ups that we've done in so many different places, at a grand opening like this, what do you think is going to stand out? What are you excited to see, and what are you going to be looking for in a brand new store, especially when it comes to current trends and customer experience and expectations as well? So Sarah and Ted, I was curious to pick your brain because you've been in so many different dealerships and especially new dealerships. So.
Well, I think what's most exciting is every time that we have a pop-up event, there's something different about the structure at every single one of them. And so, when we've gone to the Nilo company out in Sacramento, as Ted had with that picture that he shared a moment ago, we had an audience that was there with us. And that was a combination of our partners that were sitting in the audience, but also Nilo has multiple stores, Ted. So there were employees from across the Nilo company that were coming in to the Porsche Sacramento store to participate in this big pop-up event. And so we had people from all over the Nilo company that were coming and listening to their peers. And I think what's so incredible, about organizations like that and where we're going to go next for Schaumburg Kia, there's so many different aspects to dealerships that have successful businesses. Each one has a little bit of a different recipe for what that success looks like. But I think, Ted, what our audience really takes away, there's something in it for everybody. So regardless if you're a Highline, Porsche dealership, or you have, a Honda or a Toyota store, or, any of the other OEMs out there, every single OEM and all of these dealers have a successful business where they put their people first. And that's what I've taken away from every single one of these is the incredible focus on their people. Highlighting these best practices.
Yeah.
And Roman has 19 stores plus the one, Katrina, that we're going to be at this week. So 20 stores. So it'll be interesting to see who's in that audience that we're going to have this week as well.
That'll be great. And it's a lot of work to put on these pop-up events, not only on our end, of course, we know about that. And I think that that's something we can dive into as well. But, for the dealers as well, they put a lot into it with the setup and the catering and the organization. So what are, Ted, from your perspective, what is some feedback you've heard from dealers or employees at the dealership where we do the pop-up events about the benefits of having this huge setup and operation kind of going on either on their showroom floor or in their shop?
Well, it highlights the people who don't get to go to a conference and don't get to go to a NADA, as an example. Not everybody can go to NADA, and certainly in fixed operations, you got a lot of people who need to be there during business hours. You've got technicians, you've got service advisors, you've got parts counter people, you've got the BDC, you've got mobile service, and we're going to have all those people with us on various panels that Sarah has helped put together with the help of Nick at Rorman. And so we're going to get to meet those people. So I think the idea is that we get to highlight and showcase these people, how long they've been in the organization. Rorman's another one that has people who've been there a long time, and they are a top workplace, one of the top dealership groups in the nation. So they're going to be talking about that. They did last time, and I expect to hear a lot more about that. They've got a couple unique programs. Sarah, maybe you might want to tell us about things like Rorman Recharge, okay, that we're going to hear about. And I know Triton College is on the menu as well. And again, not even I have seen the menu, the agenda, pardon me, okay, because people have said, hey, Ted, can you slip me a copy of that agenda? I'm like, they didn't even give it to me. I haven't seen it yet. I've heard about this and that, but Sarah, you know best because you've been working on that.
Yeah.
Well, and it's so exciting because, again, the agenda has evolved from the first draft to second draft to third, fourth, fifth. There's been a lot of versions of this, but the reason why there's been so many different versions and why the agenda is something that, again, we want to be mindful with the dealership of how we are structuring these panels so we aren't disruptive to the business and that we are able to highlight these employees who are still very hard at work and have customers and people that they want to serve and again, be present for. So the pop-ups for us are exciting because we are the ones that are going on the road. We're not having to have, their personnel or their staff, fly in and, get a hotel and stay. We take on that burden. And then we go to these organizations and we highlight the best of their people, the best of their culture. And as Ted, you pointed out, recharge, restored. These are words that you will hear more of when this is broadcast. But just to give you a little bit of a spoiler, the Rorman Automotive Group has so many incredible programs that they bring their team together for. And they're always innovating ways that their employees can really be heard within the organization with the good ideas that they have. And also, too, there's a lot of charitable elements that they bring out to their community and their employees. And so this is a very, very human-centric approach to how they are operating their business. They're really focused on how they're impacting their community through their employees. And it just really speaks volumes, again, with what panels that they are choosing and that they want to highlight as part of this agenda.
Yeah. I love that, Sarah. And you're talking about all the amazing things that Rorman does specifically too. And that's stuff that really deserves to get highlighted, especially in the automotive industry when a dealer is going out of their way to be proactive and give back to their community and be a top employer. So I really love that aspect of putting that on display in terms of showcasing what these top tier prominent dealerships do.
Yeah, I agree.
It's going to speak to the legacy, pardon me, of the Rorman family. Linda mentioned Bob Rorman, but we're going to get a chance to meet now the next generation that is carrying it on. Ryan Rorman is going to be with us. We're going to have Chase Rorman with us as well for some interviews. Again, Sarah knows the topics. I don't know what we're going to be talking about yet, but it's all there, and they've been working on it and improving it. So, they've got a hand in what the message is going to be. So I apologize, but it's going to be fun to watch this whole thing roll out.
Yeah, that was just what I was about to say. I think once we get all these people from these different departments, like down on the panel, you can definitely see the culture of the workplace really shine through them as they talk about what they do because they love it so much and they're so passionate about it. And I think we see that in all of the dealerships that we go to and do pop-ups in. And so I'm really looking forward to that.
Marco's coming too. Marco will be there. Just so
nice.
we've got an incredible group of people that are coming in special for this pop-up event. But Ted, I think the other element that's important to highlight is that these dealerships are not chosen at random. These are very intentionally nominated dealerships that are chosen specifically by our partners, our certified partners, for the recognition of a certified dealer award recipient. And that, Ted, is how we are determining what organizations we are going to. It's our partners that are tapping these organizations for this special nomination, which in turn allows them to participate and be part of these big events.
Stephen is doing these certified partner spotlights, and he's spotlighting the dealerships who will likely be the next pop-up events, the next generation that are coming. But Sarah, just some frequently asked questions. So for example, a pop-up like Wednesday in Chicago at Rohrman, how much does Rohrman have to pay for this event to host this on the Fixed Ops Roundtable?
It is a big goose egg, zero, Ted.
Really?
This is something that with how we structure these, we take again the burden off of the dealership. Now they have a big hand in the agenda and what we are going to cover during the pop-up event, but there's no barrier.
Yeah.
Yes, there's no barrier for the dealership to participate in these, and we want to make it as again, as easy for them as possible. And this happens to be, for this pop-up event, they are, again, doing the grand opening at the same time. So there are going to be things that the dealership is bringing in special that they're already doing, for the big day. But, for us, this is exciting because we get the opportunity to be part of this energy and excitement. I mean, this is a really a special time for a dealership when it's a grand opening like this, Ted. I mean, this does not happen, within sometimes even a decade. It could be a much longer stretch between these type of store grand openings when new facilities are coming online.
That's right. So Katrina, it's the best dealerships that are nominated for these, and they're nominated by the Fixed Ops community, which includes the partners. So the partners that nominated, two of them nominated Rohrman last year. One was Automotive Warranty Network, David Reinecke, and the other partner was Northwood University, nominated Rohrman as well. They both nominated, and that's why there is now a second pop-up. So Northwood is very instrumental in this and very vocal. And we took their recommendation and we said, that is one of the top dealerships in the country. And they said, we've got a grand opening at this amazing Kia facility. And Stephen, again, I'm hearing a lot of things about these new Kia dealerships. We're going to get a chance to see it. At their Honda dealership, everything was enclosed, including the inventory. All the cars in Chicago, which gets cold in the winter, everything's indoors so that the customer can be away from the elements and be able to see the inventory. I imagine we're going to see something similar to that when we come to the Kia dealership. I would expect no less. It's right on the same strip. So
exciting. And you mentioned it earlier, like there's something for everybody. There's always a new detail to learn, especially with new grand openings like this. Just what's to come with customer expectations. And, it's just fascinating to get to learn all of the new things that are being implemented. And like you mentioned, with the certified dealer program, it's always so fascinating to learn. I've just been collecting fun facts about all these dealerships, and you wouldn't believe just some of the things that go unnoticed. And I think that that's such a highlight of the Fixed Ops Roundtable, because we'll be able to showcase some of the things that others might not be thinking of and sharing it with our great community. So very excited about it.
Everybody here tonight had a chance to go to Beaux-Arts in February and spend some time at the Bird's Nest, which is their in-house daycare facility. So when we did the pop-up there most recently, what Sarah thought we would do is highlight the moms of Beaux-Arts, the working parents who have children in the daycare. And it was the first panel of the day, Katrina, you were there. And look how well-behaved everybody was first thing in the morning. That was a good move, Katrina, early, okay? Because everybody here, there are the little ones and with their moms, and Sarah, of course, leading it. Katrina, this was a perfect panel to start the day.
It was awesome. And I think that really put on display something that Beaux-Arts did differently and really elevated the employee experience. and it made them stand out. They were really an exceptional, dealer in our industry. So I think that that's amazing. And we're so honored to put that on display. And I'm really excited to hear all about what Rorman has. Marissa's in the chat saying she's never heard of full indoor spaces like that. And neither have I.
That's crazy.
That's truly amazing. I mean, I have, and I'm sure Stephen and Emma have as well. And obviously, Ted and Sarah, you guys remember the days of putting the key fob up to your chin and chasing around a car trying to find it in the lot. It's hot and sweaty outside in the summer. I mean, it's a lot. And that's just one part of it. That's the employee experience. And then, Ted, like you were saying, keeping your customers sheltered from the elements is another aspect.
And Linda, you and I remember the days before we even had a key fob, Linda. You and I remember that when we had nothing to go out and nothing to click to beep, and we had to go move the snow and find the stock number of the car and see if the key worked to open the door, Linda, right? So.
Yeah, that's incredible. Just the time you're saving in the winter in the Midwest, because just how much you have to make the cars presentable, and you got to clean them all off, and it's just that's such a very excited to see what's in store for the new place.
And we have a mobile service panel, Stephen. Spiffy is going to be there as well.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk about mobile service. So I'd love to have you. Again, I'll have to defer to Sarah, the keeper of the agenda, see if we can get
keeper of the agenda.
But I think that would be worthy to have Stephen, perhaps on that one.
Oh, yes. I think we
I
can
would
make
be incredibly honored.
Yes.
And, Sarah, I don't want to get too much into the spoilers, but are there any other, you mentioned mobile service panel. Are there any other standout panels that you're pumped for?
Yes, I'm actually really fascinated. There's so many different elements that I think are going to be incredible takeaways for our larger dealer audience to consider, when it comes to process enhancements for their customers and the customer experience being a more holistic, unified experience between fixed operations and the sales department. And one of the areas that I know Nick Ruffalo is very excited to show off with this new Kia dealership with Schaumburg Kia, it's going to be the F&I delivery process. And one of the elements that I know he's really, really excited about, that is typically an area in the dealership where there is a lot of potential friction when it comes to the delivery process. And if anybody in our audience, has purchased a vehicle before, you've probably experienced some of those friction points when it comes to waiting for the paperwork or waiting, for the delivery of the vehicle when you're finally at the point where you've said yes, you're so excited about your new car, but now you have to hurry up and wait to get all that process sorted out at the very end. There's a lot of really incredible solutions with this new design, with the F&I process and the delivery process that I know Nick is super excited about. And another element that's going to be really cool is how it also feeds into the service experience and the fixed operation experience within the dealership. So just those two pieces, are going to be very exciting. But then, Ted, we've got a lot of other customer-centric little details that are going to be present at this new facility. And I'm going to be very, very excited to see just how they all work together between fixed operations and variable.
Do we have technicians going to be interviewed?
Oh, you know it. That's actually going to be the first start to our day. We are going to have all of these technician panels and service panels. We want to get them done first thing in the morning because, again, this is a working dealership. These are employees that are going back to help their customers in the morning. So we're very mindful of their day and their time. And the store is closing a little bit early for that grand opening that they want all their employees to be able to attend. So we're going to get the technicians and our service team out of the way first thing in the morning. But Ted, lots of technician best practices and panels, and also parts. We have retail and wholesale parts that we're going to be highlighting some of the incredible innovations that they have at this new dealership too.
How about the service advisors? Are we going to get to meet them?
Oh, yes. We have the service advisors are going to be part of some incredible panels.
On a panel.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. We're not going to go to their desk. We're going to have them on a panel. Okay.
We are going to have them right there with us. And Ted, I'm sure, again, like as this day unfolds, we've got lots of different elements. Again, Ryan Rohrman is going to be with us. We have the Rohrmans that are going to be part of this special day. We're going to be talking about the history and the future focus of the organization. We're going to talk a lot about the culture, and again, just the message that their employees really want to instill. And again, the future is going to be really, really bright with the Werman Automotive Group.
Yeah, they're big thinkers. They do a great
That's
job.
awesome.
It's exciting.
And so, Sarah, we have our fully virtual events, and we do a handful, dozens of pop-up events every year. And both have their benefits. They definitely do. But with being in person with everyone, what are some of the benefits of, not only from our perspective, but also from our vendors and our partners and our guest perspectives, of attending these pop-up events that are, in person and face to face?
To see these things firsthand and to learn. As an example, when we were at Nilo, Tully took us into the shop and showed us this big workbench, and there was this long, thin device on a workbench, and asked us if we knew what it was. And we all gathered around it, and we didn't know what it was, Katrina, okay? And that was the battery for the car. And he showed us what the battery looked like. It was the size of the full chassis, okay? And it was thin, and how it goes underneath. And the tech showed us how they put that and install it, reinstall it on the car. So we get to see things that you wouldn't see in a hotel environment or, virtual. We get to actually go and see the window on the shop and get to see how the things actually happen and transpire, to see those core values, Katrina, that you saw at Nilo on the wall, and how Mr. Nilo says, you know what, whenever we look for an answer with our customers, it's in the core values. And he pulled that out of his pocket and he said, here are the core values. The answers to every question are in these 10 values, and all the employees carry them around. So there's no substitute, but to go and actually see this at work and to see how it's, in action. So I think that's unique for everybody coming, including the audience online, but always, our guests get to see these things, and we always walk away and say, I didn't expect to see all that. So there's going to be some aha moments for sure.
Well, Ted, as you mentioned, so Katrina, the 5-day virtual event is an incredible format. What makes me excited about our virtual events is that, when I was in retail, one of the biggest challenges that I faced as somebody in the dealership was access to information. There were so many obstacles when it came to getting out of the store and traveling and getting to, conferences and in-person events. And inevitably what happened, when I got back to the store after the conference, I always felt like I was playing catch up for like a good solid week on just stuff that needed to get done. And the virtual event takes that burden off of our retail automotive professionals. It gives them the opportunity to really be in, again, experience all this learning and education. And if they can't catch it, they can rewatch it again, because it's complimentary to register for our virtual events. There's no barriers, and you'll get the information again post event. But Ted, the in-person pop-ups, what really I think sets the bar higher, for me, at least when it comes to the people and getting to be face-to-face in those environments. Ted, as you mentioned, a lot of times when we see these best practices in person, it inspires some of the content that we unpack further with the virtual event. And we would never have thought about, showcasing it, because again, we didn't get the opportunity to go see it firsthand until we got to these dealerships with the pop-ups. And, with Bozard Ford Lincoln, the Nest, I mean, seeing that firsthand and seeing the curriculum and the education and the opportunity for the community to have their children right at arm's length nearby the dealership, that's something that I can't articulate over the internet. I really had to go see that in person, and it was just incredible.
And something for everybody on this panel that'll warm your hearts is that Sarah and I met today with Cox Automotive and set a date for our pop-up event at their headquarters in Atlanta, Katrina, where you just were at last week. And we have the date for that in October. And you know what they asked us? They said, and we showed them all these pictures of all these ideas of what the panels could be. They said, one thing we want to ask. They go, we want to make sure that the students of Northwood University are at our pop-up, okay? They go, that's so important. And I mean, that just touched my heart, that they actually requested that. And so
That's so nice.
Yeah, so.
I love that.
I love that. That's powerful. They're truly investing in, the future of the automotive industry and educating young people, because that's how you do it. And that's how you build a better industry is, you got to inform and educate instead of, leaving people in the dark,
Yeah, it's so inspiring to see all of these awesome like automotive companies really take us under their wing, and they want to show us and they want to build the next generation of automotive leaders. So I think it's really nice that Cox is able to do that and able to reach out to us and want us to come to their event.
Yep. And Bill Bateman, thank you for all you do for helping to build these automotive leaders as well. We know you've been working hard at it. We hear a lot of great things from the team here, including Sarah. Okay, on the curriculum and the staff, the teachers. So, great job.
Northwood University is incredible, Ted, and it's cool to be back at school for the automotive MBA program. And Dr. Bateman, his class was incredible. I got so much amazing information. I'm excited to continue with more classes as the years unfold. So Northwood University is really leading the way when it comes to automotive education.
Yeah, here's the team from Northwood University at Beaux-Arts, and had a chance to spend some time there and with Jeff King, and that was a very fun day, Emma. We had a chance to do that, and so grateful to all of you for being there. And the schedule that's coming up starts on Wednesday in Chicago at the Roman Automotive Group with, you could see Nick Ruffalo there, Northwood grad, in front of the new Kia dealership. April 15th, June 2nd, over to New York to Brian Benstock and Paragon Honda and Acura. Exciting things going to happen there. June 10th, out on the West Coast with Tully at the Nilo Company. And on June 12th, again on the West Coast, heading a little bit further west over to San Jose for the Del Gran Dealer Group. Back to Northwood on the 17th of June and spending some time with Kent McDonald and Woody and the Full Tank Camp, and really getting a preview of all the things that are coming up for this fall. Katrina, that's what I also get out of it. Coming to Northwood in the summer is, getting a kind of a head start for what's going to come at the auto show. And it's a great thing.
It is. It's exciting. A lot to come with our pop-up events. But Ted, we also have our Fix Stops week coming up that we're so excited for. That is right around the corner. It is coming up on May 11th through May 15th. You can get your complimentary tickets at fixstopsroundtable.com. It is a free event. And Stephen, would you like to touch on the enterprise signups?
Yeah, I would love to. So Enterprise Signups is the most frictionless, seamless way to sign up, not just you, but your whole team for all of those complimentary tickets. Like we've been saying, it's a 5-day virtual event, so your team can tune in as much as they can. And it's just a great way to reduce the time it takes to sign up, have everybody sign up. We can just do it for you. So for more information, reach out to Sarah and we'll get you started. So.
And Sarah, this time next year, we'll probably send a mobile service truck out to get everybody signed up, right? That'll be the next thing.
Right? That's the next generation, right, Ted? That'll come straight to you to get you.
Not a bad idea. We could do that, actually.
Come with an open laptop, just register you.
I'm thinking we might do that at the pop-ups. That might be a good idea.
There we go.
Love it.
Yeah. So, hey, thank you all for being here tonight. Thanks for coming to Schaumburg this week, and we'll have a great event. And Sarah, thank you for all the hard work you're doing that nobody sees behind the scenes.
Yay.
It's worth it, Ted. We're so excited to have this incredible pop-up event coming up. And as everyone saw, more coming up this summer too, and into the fall.
Yeah. Big pop-up season ahead. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in Chicago.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.